A few years ago, I was at the end of a normal workday at my advisory firm, and I needed to leave soon to get to an event. But there was one thing that I had left on my task list, and that was just to call a client and then simply update them on something that was just completed for them that day. So I had about 5 minutes, and it was a short update call. Something, it should take a minute. And because I was rushed, I called him, and he picked up, and then I said, "Hey, Mike, I just wanted to let you know that we took care of the reallocation today and everything's in order. The only thing I wanted to confirm was," and then he interrupts me and he says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, Dave, slow down." And I was thinking, "Oh no, what did I say? What did I do?" And I paused and I said, "Yeah, Mike." And he says, "First off, how's the family doing?" I forgot this simple communication practice that we try to follow, which is communicate to clients or prospects the way that they want to be communicated to, right? There's only four methods of communication. So I'll share the four methods and then how to identify them within the first few minutes of meeting someone so that you can know that method and then always communicate that way with that person. Because once you figure out their style, then you put it, it's really a letter identification that you can put next to their name in the CRM, in your CRM or your phone, so that you don't forget it the next time that you're about to call them. Now, if you're thinking, why do I care about communicating in their style? Well, think about it for a minute. Why not just be yourself and speak your own style and they'll like you for who you are? You can do that, but if you want to be influential in your clients' lives so that you can build rapport and trust, and for the purpose of helping them make the best money decisions, you'll want to be able to communicate in the way that is most easily received by them. But we need to remember, the problem with communication is thinking that it happened. So the four main behavioral and communication styles is really the reason why we chose this method at Streamline is because it's so simple. There's all sorts of personality assessments out there, and they're all good or good in their own way. But this one is the most simple and just easiest to identify very quickly, and know what type of communicator they are. It only takes a little bit of practice, and then you can do it within the first minute of meeting someone, most likely, and then you know. So here are the steps. First, you want to identify your style, figure out what type of communicator you are, and then learn how to identify your clients or your prospects' style. So what is the actual method that we use to do this quickly? You may have heard of it before, and that's the DISC profile, D-I-S-C. So let me give you the quick tips on how to identify someone's profile so that you can communicate and identify your own. D, that's for dominance. So clients with a dominant style, they're direct, they're decisive, and then they prefer to get straight to the point. They value efficiency and they value results. And you'll recognize them because they often take charge of the conversation and they focus on the big picture rather than the details. So when communicating with a D, be clear, be specific, and then outcome oriented. Avoid beating around the bush, and because they appreciate brevity and they appreciate directness. So here, let's look at the iPad and see some of the how to identify. So identification here, decisive action and decision making, preference for leading rather than following, and then focusing on tasks and results rather than people and feelings. One of the things that I learned with this when I was first understanding it was over here on the right side is people, and over here on the left side is tasks. That was useful. But anyways, the D type person uses direct and assertive language. And then for communication tips, we already went over. Be concise, to the point, focus on results, allow them to take the lead, sometimes in discussion, and then avoid details unless they ask for them. So imagine you're talking to John and he's a D type, and he asks a question about portfolio performance and the bottom line in meetings. So you might just want to be clear and get to the point and go over performance right away and avoid the lengthy introduction or how are the kids doing or things like that, and then just get to the thing that he's thinking most about. Just an idea. You test it out, see how it goes. But anyways, on to the I. I stands for influence. So these are the clients, they're enthusiastic, they're optimistic, and they value relationships. Remember, they're on the right side, so they're more people oriented. So they're often talkative, expressive, and they enjoy sharing personal stories, much like Mike, who asked about my family and cared about how my dad was and things like that. And they're friendly and they're warm in conversation. So they'll show a genuine interest in your personal life. Now, these are the type of people that I'll probably connect with very easily. So here's how to identify them as you are meeting and talking to people. So as we already went over, sociable, personal stories, right, and experiences. They may focus on relationship, less on details and facts. And then let's see, expressive body language and facial expression. So communication tips. Let's go for the small talk and the personal stories in the beginning, right? Show the pictures of your kids or your dogs or whatever. And then use friendly and upbeat tone, and then highlight testimonials or stories of other clients, and then be engaging and interactive in your approach. So that's the I personality. So Mike, the guy that I talked to who said, whoa, hold on, tell me about the family, tell me about your dad, he was an I. Next is S, and that's for steadiness. So clients with steadiness, they really value reliability and sincerity. So they're also on the right side, which is people focused, and they're often calm, patient, and they prefer a steady pace. So they appreciate thoughtful and methodical approach, right? Your 7-step CFP method that you follow, or whatever your method is that you take people through. They might care more about that. So when talking to an S, then take your time and be supportive, and then listen. For the people who are on the bottom half, the S and the C, it's more about listening. I mean, it's always about listening, but even more so, they value it. So they value personal connection. They're people, they care about people, and ensure that you're showing empathy and understanding. So let's look at how to identify them. Same things we just went over: calm, patient, value deep relationships, stability, resistant to sudden change or risk. That's important, right? Communication tips: calm, reassuring tone, stability and support in your advice, and then explain changes or new strategies in detail. So again, this thing, less detail up here, more detail down here. That's a D-I-S-C. The last person is C, which is conscientious or conscientiousness. So these clients are analytical and detail oriented. So they value accuracy. So look at this thing again. And this is the D here and the C here. So these people are more analytical. These are people focused and less analytical. So the C type, they prefer to delve into specifics, and they expect thoroughness in your explanation. So they focus on facts and data and details. So be prepared to answer in-depth questions and provide comprehensive explanations. So let's look at the tips here on identifying. So we already went over these. Less expressive emotionally. I can identify quite a few people that are clients that are like that. You're like, wow, do you even like me? But the accuracy and competency and specifics. So communication tips: provide the data and the facts, and then back up your advice. Be precise and methodical in your explanations, and allow them time to process information. So avoid emotional or exaggerated claims. I remember someone that I would, who was a client or is still a client, and they'd be talking, and then they'd kind of trail off in their thinking, and then I'd kind of say something next to move the conversation along, but then they'd start talking again, and they'd want to explain their point a little bit more. This was a C person. So the practice for C people is you just have to pause for 3 or 4 seconds after they stop talking. Now, that seems like a lot, but try it. If you can think of someone who's like that, a C type, just pause. It's not awkward for them. It might be awkward for you, or maybe you are a C type, so you know what I'm talking about. But just pause and let there be some silence for a little bit. So that's the 4. That's the easiest way to identify. We've seen there's all these other ones out there, whether it's the Colby or the Myers-Briggs or the Enneagram or all the things. This is simple. It's 4. D, they drive straight to business. I, personal stories, people. S, your well-being, calm manner. And then C, focus on specific details of your services. So those are the cues. And then next step, Google DISC, disc profile, and then find one of those one-pagers that just shows it's 4 colors. And all of the things are on one page. Print that out and then look at it before your next call. Or if it's with a client or if it's with a prospect, print it out and try to identify who they are and how they communicate. So by doing this and identifying how they communicate and then matching and mirroring how they communicate, you're going to create more personalized and effective advisory experience, really. This approach not only builds trust, but also ensures that your clients feel understood and valued, which is just crucial in this space that we're in. So hope that was helpful. Check out this video on digital marketing for financial advisors so that you can attract more clients to you, so then you can identify them and know what type of communicator they are and then help them in a great way. All right, see you in the next video.